Out of all the Bond girls, only a few have come close to capturing the heart of the elusive James Bond. What began in the early 1960s as a novel adaptation has transformed into a world-renowned film franchise centered on the gentleman spy James Bond and his ability to seduce women at the drop of a hat. However, Bond is not always as impartial as he appears, and he has also fallen for several women over the years. As Bond 26 nears and the search for the next Bond girl continues, there are already several iconic Bond girls to seek inspiration from. As every James Bond actor has put their own spin on their movies, so has the female counterparts they've had. The James Bond franchise has evolved over the years to feature a variety of well-written female characters, but each Bond actor also has one woman who stands out among the rest as the best Bond girl for them. 6. Sylvia Trench, played by Eunice Gayson. Sean Connery's love interest in Dr. No and From Russia with Love. For Sean Connery's Bond, Sylvia Trench is his most significant romantic partner. While Sylvia is not one of the better characters in the franchise as she lacks any complexity outside of her relationship with Bond, she is significant to his life. Eunice Gayson appears as Sylvia in both Dr. No and From Russia with Love. The fact that Bond even has a recurring love interest is huge for his character, given his typical disinterest in commitment. Sylvia also has a huge influence on Bond, as she was the one who gave him the idea for his iconic catchphrase by introducing herself as Trench, Sylvia Trench. Sean Connery had several Bond girls, but Sylvia stands out as his closest attempt at love because only she appeared in his life twice. What her character lacked in complexity was made up by her recurrence, Countess Teresa Tracy di Vicenzo, played by Diana Rigg. George Lazenby's love interest in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Of all the Bond girls, Tracy di Vicenzo is Bond's ultimate true love. In On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Diana Rigg's Tracy meets George Lazenby's spy and the two develop a casual romance that soon turns into more. While Bond is wary of their relationship at first, he and Tracy fall in love in one of the most uncharacteristic events to happen in a Bond movie. Unfortunately, Bond's happy ending does not last forever. Near the end of the movie, Tracy is killed in a shooting. Tracy's effect on Bond is not limited to George Lazenby's version of 007. In For Your Eyes Only, Roger Moore's Bond leaves flowers at her grave, showing that the spy's love for Tracy surpasses the actor's limits as the character, and homage to the continuity in Ian Fleming's novels. 4. Octopussy, played by Maud Adams. Roger Moore's love interest in Octopussy. Maud Adams is Roger Moore's defining love interest because Octopussy is Bond's match. A brilliant mastermind and complex character, Octopussy stands out as being one of the best Bond girls. The two also had excellent chemistry and seemed to make great partners. Roger Moore's Bond was very charming, so he needed a Bond girl to match that energy, and Adams' Octopussy was that woman. So many Bond girls exist just to be in a relationship with Bond, but Octopussy stands out as being an entirely complex character on her own. Their similar status makes them a great pair and the closest that Roger Moore's Bond came to finding love. 3. Cara Milovy, played by Mariam Darbo. Timothy Dalton's love interest in The Living Daylights. Mariam Darbo's portrayal of Cara Milovy in The Living Daylights proves that Cara is the closest that Timothy Dalton's Bond came to finding love. Cara is a complex character with her own motivations and fears, while she works well with Bond. A cellist turned spy, Cara avoids the trope of the damsel in distress, can stand on her own and meet Bond at his level. Cara starts off as an antagonist to Bond, but they start to develop a close relationship the longer they work together. They also outsmart each other a few times, but in the end, decide that working together is better than fighting. The final moments of The Living Daylights solidify the view that Cara is Bond's true love of that era when he surprises Cara in her dressing room with Moore's most romantic line, "You didn't think I'd miss this performance, did you?" 2. Wai Lin, played by Michelle Yeoh. Pierce Brosnan's love interest in Tomorrow Never Dies. Since most of Pierce Brosnan's love interests as Bond turn out to be villainous killers, his list of female counterparts that have the potential to be his true love is fairly short. As a result, only one name makes it to the top of the list, and that is Wai Lin, played by Michelle Yeoh. Wai is not only a great ally to Bond in Tomorrow Never Dies, but she is also an incredibly skilled agent. Their overlapping skills and romantic tension solidify Wai Lin as Bond's best Bond girl of Brosnan's era. While Bond and Wai had less potential for love than some of the other Bond girls, they still made a good match. Her initial rejection of Bond's attempts to seduce her also paints her as one of the more realistic female characters in the Bond franchise and acts as a refreshing change of pace for Pierce Brosnan's Bond. 1. Vesper Lynd, played by Eva Green. Daniel Craig's love interest in Casino Royale. No other Bond girl can take the place of Vesper Lynd as Daniel Craig's true love in his era of playing 007. Bond's indifference towards love can be traced back to his tragic love affair with Eva Green's Vesper. As a double agent, Vesper gains Bond's trust in Casino Royale, only to betray him later on. Feeling overwhelmed by guilt, Vesper chooses to lock herself in an elevator that is slowly filling with water, making Bond incapable of saving her.